So I remember getting into the life insurance industry, and a lot of people said, "You're going to do what? You're going to do life insurance?" And I said, "Yeah, I didn't even understand what life insurance was. I thought, it's a person going door to door with a briefcase trying to sell policies. It's an older person." And I was like, "That's not me, man. I don't want to do that. I want a restaurant in South Beach, and I love salsa. I'm Cuban. I'm Puerto Rican, so I don't see myself being a life insurance agent." And when I got into the industry, and I realized like how powerful it was of an industry. From a service standpoint for clients, but also from a lifestyle for agents, I really opened up my mind, and I don't think enough people ever get introduced to the industry by the right person in the right company in the right environment, and they don't understand how powerful it really is. And so I go to this presentation, and I'm learning about insurance, and I'm learning that if somebody gets sick, that you can use the money while you're alive. And I was like, wow, that's powerful. I'm learning that there are plans that have retirement accounts associated with them, and you can grow your money tax-free and access it tax-free through a loan. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know that either. I'm learning about the stock market and index versus stocks. And I'm like, wow, nobody's ever taught me this. So I'm really curious about getting my license, trying this out, learning about money, because I never got a financial education. My parents are very smart people, but they didn't have a background when it came to stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and annuities, and taxes, and retirement accounts, and 401ks, IRAs, Roth IRAs, SEP IRA, Simple IRA, all these things that are out there, and compound interest, and Rule of 72, and we just didn't have a financial education. And so when I went to this meeting, I said, worst case scenario, because at the time I was doing real estate, which there's another video on why it shows life insurance versus real estate that maybe you want to watch. But I remember I was in real estate, and I said, this could be a great thing to add to my real estate business. And I wanted to help people. I wanted to educate people. I wanted to service people. And I saw the culture in the office. And it was this fun culture, down to earth, intense, competitive, leadership, personal development, sales training, business training, finances, like you're getting your own finances in place, business planning, marketing. And I was like, man, there's so much that I can learn in this environment. And it's been such a great industry, because a lot of times we do something because somebody else wants us to do it, And maybe you're in a career right now that you're not passionate about. It's not changing your life. You're currently not living in your dream house, traveling the world. Your kids aren't in the best schools that you want them to be in. You're not able to help the people that you love as much. And so maybe you're at a point where you're like, hey, well, I need to do something, but I've already done this for so long. Or maybe you're in school right now and you're just like, I'm studying for this, but it's not really something that I want to do. I think often the things that we are doing or have done keep us stuck where we are, and being open to maybe potentially a new career. And what I like about our industry, we recently recruited a gentleman from banking, and he called me. I met him 5 years ago, and I said, hey man, are you open to growing as a person? At that time, he didn't get started with us, and 5 years later, just the other night, he sends me a text, hey George, is this still your number? I'm considering life insurance. And we jumped on a phone call, and he came on board. He's getting his license. And I said, hey, so are you ready to get started? He says, well, I want to put in my proper time at my job, and I kind of need some time because, I really want to do this. And I said, are you thinking that you need to quit your job to do insurance? Because that's not how our model works. There are companies out there where they want you full time, and there's, if you don't hit the number, quotas, right? If you don't hit the number, you're getting fired. They own your clients. And I said, that's not our model. Our model is, hey, get your license. Let us train you. Let us go on 10, 20 appointments with you so you can learn the process, right? See how you like the industry. And then from there, you can start making some part-time income, right? Helping some people out, getting some referrals. And if your part-time income eventually can grow to exceed your full-time income, then you can make that transition at that time. But we don't want you to quit what you're doing to come do this. We want this to be additional income, not your only income, until this is something that's stable for you. So I love the fact there's a couple things in there that you should catch. One, I love the fact that I don't have to quit my job to start this. Two, I'm not by myself when I start this, which most of the time when people are going into sales or entrepreneurship, they're by themselves. That I could have somebody to train me, somebody to help me, somebody to mentor me, right? I love the fact that I'm getting my license, so I myself am getting the education on how money works for myself. I love the fact that I can help people instead of just sell something. And I tell all my guys, we don't sell to sell, we sell to solve a problem. So I love the fact that I can help somebody. When I say help somebody, meaning I don't have to charge them money to help them, right? I don't have to mark up the product. I don't have to charge a fee on the back end or the front end to help them. And so I love that fact, and that we can make a great income at the same time doing so. And then from there, that I could do this on the side, that I can, I don't have to quit my job to do this. So there's so many things about this industry that most people don't know. And most people in our family don't have a financial education, right? Just like my parents didn't. Some of you guys are watching this, you don't have a financial education. Do you think it would benefit you to be in the financial industry so that you could get a financial education? And then do you think it would benefit the people that are around you to be able for you to share that education with them? Because does your family have somebody that's the money person? Does your family have somebody that's the finance person? And then, so I'm getting into this, and I'm around a lot of successful people. People that are making 100,000, quarter, $500,000, million, millions of dollars. And I don't come from that world. At my job at the restaurant, I'm not around those kinds of people. You know, maybe the owner, but we don't really have a relationship. And then when I worked in corporate, I never met the CEO, president. I didn't have access there, right? My GM, maybe my manager. So I wasn't around a lot of successful people. So I start getting around successful people, and I start realizing, what do these guys do, right? And how do they think? Right? The difference between you and maybe somebody that's further ahead of you, right, is how do they think, right? And then what do they do? And so I said, okay, well, if I can learn the way that they think, if I could do what they do, then I could start getting some of the same results. And that's how I made my first 6 figures, and then eventually multiple 6 figures, and then 7 figures, and so forth. But I started getting access to the right mentor. See, the problem is that most of the time we're not able to have access to the people that are where we want to be able to learn from them. And so I start doing that, and then I start realizing that there are a lot of different ways of selling insurance. There are some that are just producers, where you just you go out there and you sell, you make money, but that's pretty much it. And you have to keep selling. And I said, man, I don't really want to do that. And I was able to build my own agency. And I looked at this as I could build a business. Right now, when you think about building a business, you have a lot of costs to that. You got to hire people, you got to rent the space, you got to buy products, you got to inventory, you got to have legal, you got to have marketing, you got to have fulfillment, you got to have customer service, you have to have licensing, you have to do all these things. Well, for somebody that didn't have a business owner background, I was able to come into this and leverage everybody else's experience around me. I just had to do what was next for me, but I had a broker, there was an office manager, there was a headquarters, right? And they were helping me with all of those things. And eventually I learned how those departments work, and I was able to leverage them instead of having to create those departments for myself. Many business owners have a huge overhead, right? Every single month it's hiring, you have 20, 30, 40, 50 employees, payroll, expenses, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars every month. I love the model where I was able to leverage those things without having to cut the check for them, right? And essentially, I would pay to help support those departments with my production when I produced. But I was able to leverage them all the time regardless of that. So I love that model, that I was able to do that, but also build an agency and be able to recruit, license, train other individuals and coach them and mentor them like somebody did for me. And there is this misconception of, hey, well, if you recruit a lot of agents, you make a whole lot of money. First, you got to be able to recruit agents. Then you got to be able to get them licensed. Then you have to be able to train them. Then you have to retain them. Then you have to develop them, mentor them, coach them, build them, support them, encourage them, correct them, equip them. There's a whole lot of work into that. And yes, if you do that job, right, you will be compensated for developing other independent agents or developing leaders. So I love the fact that I was able to build my own agency, but even more so that my agents were able to build their own agencies. Because I don't want to be the person that says, hey man, I'm making millions and you'll never have the life that I have. Sorry, I can't coach you to get to where I'm at. You can't live the way that I live. I couldn't accept that as a model. I understand that's how businesses work. Even my staff, my assistants, I tell them, hey, I'm never going to pay you what you're worth. Let me help you become who you're supposed to be, whether that's becoming an agent, whether that's doing the agent on the side and doing the office management at the same time, or that's you at some point moving on if there's a better opportunity. I want people to move up. I don't want to hold people back. So I loved that model. And what ended up happening, there was a compounding to that. See, if there's a business owner and then there's employees, or there's a business owner and then there's agents, there is one level of leadership, right? Okay, just you're the leader. But if you have a business where it's agency, 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 you have multiple levels of leadership there. So you have more independence and you have an exponential model that eventually can open up to multiple offices. And what does that look like now? We have thousands of agents now that are every single month going out there and helping clients all over the United States. And so I'm grateful that somebody exposed me to that industry As a consequence, I've met some amazing friends. We've helped several people go make their 100,000, $250,000, $500,000, 750 million, and we've helped other people do that now have their own businesses and are getting closer and closer and closer every single day to their dreams. So I'm so grateful that somebody introduced me to the life insurance industry and I didn't quit when it was difficult, that I stuck it out. If you're at a point where you're looking at saying, hey man, I want to be around some good people, I want to find the right industry, I want to be around some good people, I want to be with the right company, send us a message, we'd love to connect with you. If this is not, if life insurance is not for you, right, and you're maybe in a different career, just make sure that the people you're around have the life that you want to have and that they're helping you to get there. That's my belief system. I hope this added value to you. And for those of you guys that are considering the industry, send us a message. We'd love to connect.